your mic's doing that thing. Fix it. Go back to your seat.
How do you pull him in the realm?
He's got to have a Microsoft account.
Oh yeah. Let me see if he does. Do you have a Microsoft account? Huh? Did you have a Microsoft account? Okay, so the realm's working. We can let you in. All right. What? Adam, you want to hang? You want to deal with the invite? I don't know how to do
No,
this.
I don't. I don't want to deal with the invite.
How do you
Because if
invite
he
him?
wanted to join, he should have asked you guys. We should have done this 20 minutes before. We're already into this.
Why?
Hey, I'm not the bad guy to your little brother. You are. Okay? I'm a third party. I had nothing to do with this. You look like the bad person. I want to invite him, but if you can't, then you can't. You know what I mean? I'm still
zero. Says 0 invites.
Add realm member.
Add realm member. Where do you?
I have that. Hold on.
Oh, you can do that.
He can join the realm by typing in a code that I see.
Okay, you ready to type a code in?
I'm not reading it on stream, dum.
No, text me. That's what I'm. Okay, so can you put it in the chat for us?
Hell no.
No, not the stream chat.
Hell no. Corgi might see it and join. We don't trust that guy.
Let him join then. Whatever. All right, hang on 1 second.
By the way, it's really funny how I said I would never let anybody in the stream join, but to look at the code, I had to look at it while streaming, Kevin, and nobody pointed that out. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
Nobody watches this. We're safe. Destinoda, where are you?
Can't you just request a new code?
I don't know. Who cares? Nobody's going to join. Other than a child. And honestly, if other people join, I can... Destinoda, did you die? Oh, he's muted. So is Genesis. Kevin, welcome to the show.
Hi.
We're just gonna waste time. We're not gonna actually get into the show. What's 101? Just get in your seat. Why do you keep moving around? You're getting more exercise than you do in real life. What the hell?
Wow.
How was game night?
It was pretty good.
What'd you play?
Spirit Island.
Son of a gun. Were you Meat Tornado with somebody else?
No.
Oh, that's a
How
shame.
did I've been playing a lot of the Mist.
Okay, alright.
It was quite ridiculous, honestly. Oh my god, I got the best major power card for him.
Mm-hmm.
So one of your spirit cards, like the powers you start out with, is slow, deal 1 damage to all invaders in a spot, right?
Mm-hmm.
All invaders. So
All right.
then
The
major power was I forget what the hell the top part was. It was like a something or something. I forget what the top part was. That didn't matter. The or was or remove all damaged invaders from target land. So I was just like, oh, there's 3 cities, 3 towns, and a bunch of explorers on this one spot. Oh look, they're all gone.
Wow.
And then Brad was playing the Hummingbird. So he was like, this and this are adjacent. Shove more things. And I'm like, cool, erase. Got real dumb. It was great.
All right, Destinoda, are you coming in, or are we having a stand-in for you today?
Excuse me.
Look at him. He's doing.
He can go wherever and build wherever he wants, by the way. There's nothing... I'm not going to restrict him.
All right. Destinoto, where are you? Hello? Are you
He's
dead? Are you
muted.
alive?
Nah, he's muted. We're gonna assume he's dropping
All
a
right,
fat
well,
deuce.
okay, cool. Let me just get this real quick here. Episode 101, and we're live. Okay. All right, here we are once again. Welcome back, everybody, to the Screw Ubisoft podcast. This is episode 1.
Wow.
This is the new podcast that we have after Crafting a Chat has taken a hiatus because we've done 100 episodes of that. So, this is the Screw Ubisoft. Everybody who screws Ubisoft, please, enjoy this podcast, and I hope you love everything about it. Anyway, welcome to episode 101 of Crafting a Chat. This is our first episode after a long hiatus of 100 episodes there. Thank you for joining us, Destinato. I don't know what took you so long.
I was getting my food.
Lovely, of course. As usual, we have the normal cast here. Adam, Kevin, Destinato, myself being Genesis. Gentlemen, how are we all doing tonight? How are we all feeling? We all feeling okay? We all doing all right? Anybody missing any limbs? Everybody got all their appendages?
I don't see my legs.
Oh, God. Oh, they're gone. Oh, so
Oh,
sorry,
no.
guys.
Me too.
I'm so we all lost our legs.
Guys,
Well, there goes
L3, L3 guys, L3. You can see them all.
Oh, they're there. They're there.
All right. Well, as we normally start this out, gentlemen, what did we all play last week? I don't think I was even on much. I can start us off. I don't think I played anything. I think the only thing I did play was a little bit of Tales of Arise after the podcast last week, but I don't think I played much else. I really have been watching the Rising of the Shield Hero, the anime. That's been a time and a half for me. I did go see a lovely movie, which we will talk about in a little bit with my good friend Adam here. We'll have a nice discussion on that. Spoilers, definitely, when we reveal the movie title and all that, but we'll be talking about a couple things here. I don't know if we want to go into deep spoiler talk since we're
I
only
would
a week.
assume not. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll probably we'll go where we go.
Okay, so we'll be as non-spoilery as we can, but we'll reveal the movie title.
We
at
won't
what?
spoil the main things like the ending
No.
and stuff, but
Yeah.
jokes, absolutely.
I will.
100%. Yeah, Kevin will spoil it because Kevin obviously knows exactly what we're talking about. So
I
yeah.
do.
I'm sure you'll see a little bit, a little figure in the background. We have Dark Sonic joining us here this week for the podcast. You'll see him floating around in the back. So I don't know if you can hear us. If you can, hello and welcome to the podcast. You can do whatever you want here, build whatever you want. Just don't disturb us while we're talking here. But yeah, that's what I did, I think, last week. I really didn't do much else. I've been offline for a little bit. Like I said, just watching Rising of the Shield Hero. That anime, each episode is almost like 45 minutes long. They're really good. That was a excellent first season. The second season I'm going into, I'm a little weary of, but it's okay so far. I'm good. I'm happy with it. But first season, man, that was a masterpiece of a season. It was great. Recommend it for anybody who want to watch an isekai anime, which is like an RPG type of like I dive into a RPG world anime. So definitely watch that if you're into that. It's real good. Justin, what'd you do last week?
Um, mhm. I played some League, getting back into that again. Playing some normals. Um, hmm. Oh, I did some. So me and my other Fate playing friends did some gacha rolling, and I actually got the brain of servant in a relatively low amount of. Why does there TNT in my hands?
It's got a bomb. Get him.
um, I got the new servant pretty quickly compared to some other people I know, but most of my friends actually got her pretty quick. That was good. And Yeah, waiting for this other banner to start for the summer event. And we'll probably be rolling some more there. Gotta get all my waifus. And didn't really play too much else. As far as watching stuff, Overlord Season 4 started.
They're on season 4 of that now?
Yeah, it just dropped.
Oh my god. I remember season 2 and I was so into that, and I tried to watch season 3 and it just wasn't... I wasn't getting it. I don't know, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I need to give it another chance, but... Wow, they're on season 4 of that. Oh my god.
Well, because there was a really long hiatus between the last season and this one, because they were pretty much trying to get more... Well, go back in your room. Why do you have to stand here to play? The voice chat? It's like any other voice chat. Do you know how to join the voice chat? You joined before. Did you send him an invite?
No.
Genesis?
I didn't send one to the voice chat. I mean, I can let him into the voice chat, I guess, if he wants.
No.
Kevin, you say no?
Yeah.
No? Kevin said no.
I'm in real quick, but Kevin says no, so I don't know what's gonna happen when I do let him in. Kevin might just go berserk and like kill him. Family show. He might harm him in a non-bodily manner.
Oh, and other than Overlord, only watched the first episode. I think second episode dropped today or yesterday. Started watching Baki on Netflix.
It's pronounced Bukaki.
Oh God, family show.
Definitely
okay.
not pronounced that way.
It's definitely pronounced that way.
It's a very, very gruesome, brutal, visceral MMA fighting show that's actually just, oh man, it's so good. The fighting is really good. The brutality of the show, oof, it's on another level.
There's a lot of quality memes of that show, actually. There's real good quality memes of that one.
Oh yeah.
Hi, can you not talk right now? Thank you very much. Sit down and you can do whatever you want. Just don't speak right now.
Yes. But yeah, there's 2 seasons of that. Then there's Baki Hanma. There's 1 season of that and another season on the way. So there's quite a bit to watch if somebody wanted to see a really gruesome, gory MMA anime. Pretty sick. And the music's also really good.
Okay. That all you saw? That's all you did?
So...
Okay.
Yeah.
Kevin, what'd you do? What'd you do last week?
Not a whole lot.
I don't know. None of us did a whole lot, but tell me what you did.
What did I do? Played Destiny 2. That's a shock. Played some Serious Sam with Genesis here. That was good. Played the Serious Sam the first encounter.
I totally forgot we played that last week. How did I forget that?
Baby. And I don't remember if it was last week or I think it was the week before we did some SOP. That did not last long. Oh, I agree. That's basically how we feel when we play SOP right there.
Yeah, trying to just beat that stupid, idiotic boss. Oh my god.
By the way, hold on. Let's scream. Desinoto, did you pick up the chicken you dropped?
Oh no.
Pretty sure that was you screaming, right?
Chicken.
Oh, alright.
100% that was him screaming, though. He didn't drop his chicken, he dropped his rice.
I don't have any rice. I have some baked macaroni and turkey wings.
Ooh.
The turkey is a chicken, but different.
That sounds good. Some baked macaroni. I don't want some of that. Well, that's good. No, not yet. I will tell you when it's your turn to speak. Do not speak unless you're spoken to, okay? Yes, and now be quiet. You're speaking too much. Kevin, please continue. I'm so sorry you got interrupted by these heathens.
I was done.
Yeah, he
Oh,
was
okay,
done.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I don't know.
Adam, what'd you do?
Lawn Mowing Simulator DLC came out. I bought that, played that, got all the trophies in that. Even though this is the Ubisoft hating podcast, whatever the hell you called it, I played Valhalla. I'm sorry. Trying to get through that DLC. It's a slog.
Don't apologize.
That company sucks, except the workers. You know, they're good people. Well, not all of them. The top ones suck. Other than that, I didn't really play much. I watched a couple movies, unrelated to the one we went to see. I watched Wrath of Man. It's a Guy Ritchie movie with Jason Statham. It's on Amazon Prime. It sets it up really good. The ending, the last like 20 minutes sucks. It has no payoff. Love the movie other than that, but with the ending, I'd give it a 4. Without the ending, I'd probably give it like an 8.5. Yeah, I know. And then Better Call Saul just came out. The season started back up with 6 episodes left. Now there's only 5. The episode last night was so great. It was amazing. It's got a 9.9 on IMDb, which is the 4th episode in the Breaking Bad universe to do that. The other one was the previous episode before it went on a hiatus. Oh my God, things are heating up. I will gush about this every week. I promise you. I will not get into it too much now. I don't want to go into spoilers because I know there are cool people here who will eventually watch it one day, hopefully soon. But yeah, just been, enjoying some content. I've been getting off at like midnight or midnight 30, so I'm not on late anymore, and nobody else is on. So yeah, glad we could all be here, and another. But, you were the another. Cool skin, by the way. You're welcome. That's it. Genesis?
All right, well, to start us off here, I'm sure Kevin may have a topic this week, and I'm sure we have other things we want to talk about, but let's get this movie review out of the way first. Adam and I went to go see Thor: Love and Thunder, and we had such a great time watching that movie. I think we were literally sitting there and just laughing for 90% of the movie. I think there was like a good 10% where we actually just sat there quiet and watched the movie.
I don't think I don't think there was, other than like for like that 10-minute black and white scene, I don't think there was a moment we were quiet from like not laughing. We laughed. Well, I want to be honest. We laughed more than the audience of the film. I think we enjoyed it way more. And as we were walking out, it sounded like we did. And based on reviews and stuff, it sounds like we enjoyed it way more. Also, shout out to theaters. Not really a shout out, a warning to them. Turn your AC down. Like, turn the AC on all the way and then lower the temperature all the way. Because when you have 100,000 billion bodies making just, oh my God, it was so hot in there. Plus, we were laughing really hard, so that didn't help.
Also, listen, to the people who go to the theater, please, like, learn to go use some sort of body perspirant. Like, we walked in that theater, and I could already tell there was just...
Oh, yeah, that was me. Until I forgot deodorant that day.
Oh, my
God.
God.
Yeah.
Monsters.
I also shit my pants in the parking lot. Just a full-on goopy splash, you know what I mean? Like, it just came out, and it was, oh, man. Thank God I have lined all my clothes in plastic.
But, we spent most of the movie laughing. The movie was absolutely fantastic. Without going into spoilers, Chris Hemsworth, A+ job in the movie. I think he's a great person in that film as a comedian as well. Just always, in any scene that he's in, he literally just makes everybody laugh. It's great. It's fantastic. Christian Bale did a fantastic job of that movie. There are some good references to one of the games that is very near and dear to Adam. In that movie, I don't know if it was purposely done, but if it was purposely done, excellent job on that. That was great.
Christian Bale's in that?
Yeah,
he's the bad guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Oh, and he's chewing up the scenery every scene he's in. It's amazing. He's so good.
I know,
Oh,
man.
not in it enough, honestly. Not
Well,
in
if you
it
told me
enough.
that, I might have gone to watch it.
He is terrifying in that movie too. Some scenes where you just look at him, man, they did some good makeup in that movie. Real good
There's
lighting,
talk.
real good
That's
makeup.
really the only thing they did good. A lot of people complain about the CGI online, especially the kid's head floating.
It's really just the first part of that where.
I mean, a lot of the CGI
intro.
later in the movie, it does look fake, but I didn't care because I was laughing so hard.
So good, so good. The one thing I will, because I don't know if it's a spoiler or not. It's not really a spoiler. When you see the goats in the movie, that is probably the best, some of the best aspects of that movie.
Found
goats.
out that's a real thing about Thor, that he has goats pull him around. That's his mode of transport. They power his his ride, like in
Great.
Thor mythology.
I loved it.
I don't think it had no aspect like the ones in the movie had that made us laugh every time. It shouldn't have, but it made us laugh every time.
After the first time, I thought, and Adam thought the same thing. Like, oh, it's gonna get tiring after a couple times we hear it. But no, every single time they used it perfectly. They used it great. Good duration of the movie. I would have loved a longer movie. I would have loved a 3-hour version of this. I think I would have sat through another hour instead. I would have just laughed even more, just throughout the whole entire thing.
Yeah.
It does try to take itself seriously sometimes, but overall, this movie knows what it's doing. It knows what it's trying to do.
I even said I think the serious moments work because I think Chris Hemsworth has really nailed the comedic aspects of Thor, but also the moment where there's a very like heartbreaking moment and like he confesses like some things and like his voice breaks, and I really think he's grown as an actor since the first Thor. A complaint a lot of people have for this film is like Thor's character growth is basically gone. Because this one he seems like relaxed and he doesn't mind destroying things. And the first movie he learned like he had to be respectful of others. This one it's gone. But again, like I said, like if I came from a critic's point of view, I would say this movie's okay, like plot, narratively, and all that. But we were just laughing too hard for me to even go, this movie sucks. You know what I mean?
Nah, this movie was absolutely fantastic. I rated this movie very highly. I still have Batman being my top movie of this year so far. I do enjoy Doctor Strange, but that's because I like Doctor Strange more as a character. Although Thor is a very, very good Avenger, and I mean I know this is. I don't think this is also spoilers. There is going to be another Thor movie. I mean, there's going to be another one.
That was trending online after this one came. This one made so much money, so I wouldn't be surprised if people are confused. There's another Thor. Then come on,
there'll be another one. So Thor will return. But yeah, I highly recommend anybody who is into any Marvel go see this. If you're not into Marvel, literally just go see it just because it's so good. It's so funny, so good.
Oh, I would not recommend it if you're not into Marvel.
Really?
Yeah, because there's so much you just have to know to understand.
That many confusing
There's
aspects
where I stand.
It's not like it's. I mean, yeah, you can go in and kind of get the gist of what's happening, but also there's just a lot of like. Who's going to a Marvel movie 30 movies in at this point? Like, no, don't do that. Like, you have homework.
I take it back. Watch the other movies first and then go see. You don't have to see every single one of them, but...
Yeah, check out, like, look up a guide where it's, like, the essential movies to watch.
Yep.
And they'll figure it out. At this point, you basically skip the Iron Mans.
Yeah, because he's not.
If you wanted to.
Here.
Yeah, I mean, you could literally start with Infinity War and you'll catch up pretty quick.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. That's a good one, actually. That's Adam's weekly advice from Crafting a Chat. Take it.
Yeah, my weekly advice.
He'll kill you.
That I've given out every week.
Yeah.
For 101 weeks.
Yeah, you have. I don't know why this is a surprise to you. But yeah, I think.
Numbers. Good night.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Thank you.
Mix those up, you'll get it. Make bigger ones, little ones, however many you need. There you go.
I think Adam and I, though, can wholeheartedly recommend this movie. Yes? Yeah, and call me Genesis, not whatever you're calling me. Yeah, and then Desonoto's next to you. That's all you have to remember.
It doesn't matter. What do you want to say? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, that's from a few updates ago. They changed it for some reason. I don't know why. I don't know if it's a mistake or...
I don't know. Anyway.
Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft. Who knew what... I don't know. Minecraft does a lot of things that I'm like, why? Just why? I don't understand.
Oh, I love
it. Okay. Yeah, like why? Why?
Hey, it kind of looks like you in real life, Genesis.
It does.
Yeah,
it does look like me in real life, huh?
Oh, too much hair on that thing now that I look at it.
Unfortunately, yeah, that's the only unnatural aspect for it, unreal aspect there. Adam and I definitely recommend the movie, though. Go see it. It's good, 100%. But yeah, that's our 2 cents. In a couple of weeks, we'll probably do like a full spoiler review after enough people have seen it. And we'll kind of get into details and all that. But I think we're waiting for, what did you say his name is?
Brett Goldstein?
No.
As, what's his face? Oh, that's kind of a spoiler. Never mind. Ignore that.
No. What do we call him?
I called him Corgi, but I think we already used that one, so let's go with Cognito.
Cognito. Okay, we're kind of waiting for Cognito to go see it first.
He was like, should we use our IMAX tickets for Thor? And I was like, nah, I don't think you need those. I'm like, that's a stand. You don't need to see it in IMAX, by the way. That's another tip I'll give. It's a pretty movie sometimes, but most of the time, like, you're not there for the visuals. There's a whole Marvel special effects backlash going on right now, too. So,
unfortunately, yes, there is.
Is this a don't look at it scenario?
I wouldn't say it's a don't look at it scenario. There's a couple times where it's like, just don't look at it. But, like, so yeah, I guess it's a little bit of a don't look at it scenario.
I'd say a little bit. I wouldn't say as much. It really is just the intros where you're really
in that kid's head.
Look at it. Yeah, those two. Yeah, that's it. Other than that, you're pretty solid for the movie. You're pretty okay. Kevin, do you got a topic for this week, Kevin?
No.
Do we not want to talk about Skull and Bones?
No.
I have a topic.
Please, go ahead, Evan.
I want to talk about, this may be controversial. Hold on, I forgot. That's not what's controversial. Hold on. I thought of it before this, and then I blanked. I totally blanked. Oh my god. First of all, I joined the SSD club. Hello, thank you.
Welcome to the SSD
thank
club.
You,
welcome.
Jeffrey Bezos. I believe that's how you pronounce that in real life.
Yeah, Bezos. Yeah, Bezos.
Or Musk or whatever. It doesn't really matter.
Prime Day. Anybody who doesn't know Prime Day today.
I woke up this morning, and Genesis sent a lovely text from the middle of the night.
At 3. So let me. Can I put some backstory on that?
Go ahead.
I woke up. I went to sleep at like midnight last night, maybe a little bit before midnight, which is early for me. So I went to sleep midnight, and I for some reason woke up at 3:30, right? And I was like, I woke up. I gotta go use the bathroom, whatever. I came back on the bed and lay down. I'm like, I can't go back to sleep. And I was like, oh wait, it's Prime Day because it's after 3 a.m. or whatever. I'm thinking a lot of things got up there after 3 a.m. and I was correct with that. So I started to scroll to Slick Deals and all that, and I'm like, oh my god, look at all these things on Prime Day right now. Next time I look at the clock, it's 5:50 a.m. I was like, oh, what did I just do? I look back in the chat, and I'm like, oh happens.
Yeah. You start scrolling.
I put a bunch of these things in the chat. I put a bunch of deals out in the chat. I ended up adding a bunch of things. I was like, oh my god. I ended up buying that $59 Amazon afterwards. So I was like, if I'm gonna buy something, I'm gonna go use it.
One Spirit account?
It's one Spirit account, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
sorry. So you stole it.
I didn't steal it. It's my account. you son of a gun.
Sounds like some thievery went
on. Unfortunately, yes, Dark Sonic. I'm a thief. But yeah, that's the backstory with that. Couldn't go back to sleep. Decided to start scrolling through things, and I end up looking at the time and realizing it was almost 6 o'clock in the morning, and I had posted a bunch of deals in the chat. So there's the backstory with that.
And I'll give you some backstory on me reading it. I texted Kevin what my Wordle and frame score was, and then I woke up and found that text that you sent. Because I'm a little baby boy now, and I fall asleep before 1 most of the time. Kevin, I saw your message this morning. Nice job on frame, or Wordle. You're doing great on Wordle the last few weeks. I'm doing bad. I keep getting 5s and 4s. I mean, that's bad. But I saw that deal, and I was like, I wanted 2 terabyte, and I said it would 200 or less. That was 2 terabyte, and it was under 200, but then it also included the heatsink, so it was literally 200. And I was like, sold. And it was the SSD I want. Like, it was a nice SSD. I was thinking about getting
the WD
Corsair.
Black.
Yeah. I was thinking about getting the Corsair one because it had, like good speed. This one, the speed is basically the same. The one Destinoto sent earlier was slower. A few hours ago you sent. It was much slower, that one. That's why I was like, I'm glad I didn't buy this one.
That was a Samsung one.
Yeah,
that
was the Best Buy where it was an error on their website, it turned out too. I joined that. Should be here tomorrow. I should have it installed by tomorrow. I'm very excited to join the SSD club. I think I kind of remembered what I wanted to
the controversial thing you want to talk about?
Yeah, it's not so much as controversial for everybody else. It's kind of controversial for us because the other night I was going to bed, and then all of a sudden, like, some troll just popped up in our chat and was like, I'm mad at The Last of Us Part 1. And Destinoto came in as a voice of reason, so I was like, okay, I can sit this one out because I'm tired, I don't want to deal with this. And I was like, what is going on here? So I feel like we need to talk about we need to talk about that. Because at the end of it, you came to the same exact conclusion as you did the day we saw the fucking game appear. And we're swearing. There's a child here. That's why we're swearing. If nobody watches Family Show, if people watch, we swear. I'm just saying. What was going through your head that night, Genesis?
Okay,
you seemed angry. Hold on, let's set the stage for Kevin. Let's really quick set the stage for Kevin. Kevin, you want to hear how salty Genesis was the other night? Oh my God, you do, I promise. He sent something that was so long after him again. He sent a thing comparing Resident Evil 2 remake to Last of Us remake, and they were like, 2013 remake, though everything is already made, multiplayer is gone, PS5 upgrade price, $70. You can be mad about $70. That's an opinion. You can have that. This person's judging this game before it came out, before we saw gameplay, completely dismissing facts. It's a game that, yeah, maybe it doesn't need a remake, but why throw your opinion in? Just makes no sense. So Genesis posts this, and then he says, can't hate on being right. Now that's something I would say. I'm the right guy. Not the right. Not the politically right guy. I'm the right guy. But anyways, I responded with, like, this is stupid. Also, comparing it to real-time PS5 cutscene to pre-rendered cutscene, get this garbage troll shit out of here. I was like, no. This was at 12:47 a.m. I just described I fell asleep before 12:30. So when I saw this, I was like, what the hell? Genesis decides to say everything is made, assets are made. They can improve on assets while making new models as well. RE2 was a full remake. Final Fantasy VII was a full remake. No old assets were used. Good, great, glad. So when Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2 comes out, we're going to criticize that because all the assets from Final Fantasy VII Remake are in there, right? Is that what's going to happen?
Not a remake,
what about
RE3?
Remake? RE3 Remake. That had assets from RE2, but RE2 Remake used the RE engine, which probably used assets from RE7 and RE8. But who am I? We're not game developers. How would we know? So I said, it's enough I have to keep seeing this shit on Twitter. I'm glad we got a comment on the original thread actually breaking it down. Genesis sent a paragraph. I'm scrolling past it. I'm not even reading it now. And Desunoda jumped in as a hero and said, I believe they also overhauled the gameplay side of things, but yet to be confirmed. Desunoda is right. They said something about it. It's not really confirmed, but it is something they've talked about. Desunoda walked in with facts, said the facts, and walked out. What a guy. Then Genesis was like, did they add new combat mechanics? Literally something we talked about where we don't know what's happening. And I said, TLDR to your giant post, and I said, I'll guess you still think it's just graphics. You're missing the point. Be mad about the price all you want. That's a fair thing to be mad at. Desunoda jumps in. Supposed to be more in tune with The Last of Us Part 2. Again, throwing in a fact. He's like, I gotta get up to work at a bank. You know, he's working at the backside of a bank. You know, from the bank, as you would say in the business. And I'm like, me and this man have to get up early. We're arguing with a phone guy. Like, what is this? And then Genesis comes in and he says, what upgrade did that bring in terms of combat system? I'm genuinely asking to see what upgrades it will bring to Last of Us 1. Hey, Desunoda and I, we lied. We've been working on The Last of Us Part 1. We can answer these questions. They're publicly available information, of course. And then I said, thank God someone who actually listened and retained any of the info is also in this effing chat. IDK, why you're so salty, Genesis? Are you okay? Like you go through something? Because I was very confused why this started randomly at night. And then Genesis said, as far as we know, it's mainly graphics being redone here. Literally every opposite of everything they've said. Everything else has already been made in Last of Us 2 and being applied to Last of Us 1. Yeah, because Last of Us 2 and 1 take place in the same area. So, you know, that's how that works. Which means that it's already made. Not salty. I'm pointing something out. What are you pointing at? You're pointing at a 2-minute trailer and assuming things based on troll stuff. And then Desunoda was like, it's probably not as copy-paste as many may think for the gameplay, like redoing all the animations and shit for new models in Part 1. But they haven't showed the gameplay, so should just wait till that comes out to say anything more. Then Genesis comes to the same conclusion. Fair enough. Let's wait and see more trailers and gameplay. Let's rewind to when they showed this trailer, and we were like, what's going on here? And then we started talking about it. Genesis was like, why is this needed? We were like, why is this needed? $70, it's crazy. Everyone pre-ordered it. We knew it was going to sell like hotcakes. And then we were like, we need to see more to judge it. Everyone agreed. And then for some reason, weeks later, Genesis was like, I see an image online and people are mad. I'm going to join them. What happened? Please explain to me what was going through your mind during all that. Like, what? Did you forget?
No, so I think I was angry at the wrong thing. I was supposed to be angry at the price. That's what was really just bugging me because I'm like, okay, you're charging $70, right? It's a game that's already been remastered. There's no new content in this except for, you know, the redone animations and the graphics and the combat and, you know, probably some tweaks to gameplay to make it feel more like The Last of Us 2. And I'm like, you could have just put an upgrade path for people who have Last of Us on PS4, right? Which is, I would assume, quite a bit of people since it was on Plus and things like that. And I think it's on PS Extra, one of the two, I don't know, or part of the PS Plus collection, actually, anyway. Could have offered an upgrade path. $70, though, to get that game done. And then I was looking at RA2. That's what triggered me to get into that mindset for some reason. Because I'm like, all right, Resident Evil 2 is a $6 game that got redone from a PS1 title, right? And then you have now the PS5 update, which only added ray tracing, yes. But they gave it for free. When I looked at it then, it didn't strike me as two different things that was trying to present itself there. That person who posted it up was clearly just looking at a very generalized fucking statement and just said, okay, let's just put this post here and make people angry at it, and that's all we're going to do today. And I'm like, all right, well, I joined into that, unfortunately. After I looked at it, I read it over. I'm like, you know, I get what they're saying. I understand. Yes, we don't know a lot of it still because they haven't revealed a lot more of it, like exactly what the specifications, what they're changing are in combat, gameplay, what they're tweaking, what they're doing. And I was looking, I'm like, I should have just stuck with the price. I think that was the only thing that I really had to talk about because everything else I didn't have a leg to stand on because we don't know anything about it. So I think I was just I think I was possessed for a little bit. Unfortunately, I think I was
You got
possessed by
caught.
some. I was possessed a little bit, and unfortunately, the hatred of Ubisoft I think made me even more possessed
I
because I
know,
think that
and
was
I was
the.
like so shocked because Cognito shared a Ubisoft thing, and you had a great meme of "Join Me," and I thought that was great. And if you notice, I didn't argue with that because that was a shitty thing Ubisoft's doing, and that's a good thing to call them out on. It's not just random hate that I dislike. I hate random hate, but I don't like if you're gonna justifiably hate something. Sure, that makes sense. Maybe that's a personal thing, whatever. But like, I didn't say anything. Then all of a sudden, this, I'm like, and I gotta be honest, I saw that and I was like, what is it? How do I block this man from this chat? What's going on here? I've been muting these people who've been tweeting the same things all on Twitter. And it's the same people who tweet the same shit over and over about Last of Us Part 2. Like, it's a garbage game, bad story, gameplay sucks, graphics are ugly. Now they're making an ugly game with a lesbian as a child, trying to turn these children into sexual predators. I see that shit all over Twitter, and you shared it, and I was like, what is... So
I
I
really
was
I
not happy.
No, and I really was just going down to the comparison with RE2. I wasn't prying on any of that other stuff.
Also,
I was just really looking at that
I'll
comparison
be
and that.
honest. I'm glad Destinoto jumped in because the Larry comparisons would have flew out. When you see that long ass text, I was like, "What? What are you trying to be Larry and write me a novel? Like I'm not reading this." But when Destinoto jumped out and saved the day by just spitting facts, like just saying the things where I'm like, "Why isn't everybody like this?" This is why I've come to like him more because he doesn't do this.
Now, who knows? Maybe this is all just a ruse that you realize how much you actually love Destinoto and how much you actually despise me. Maybe this is.
Let's be fair. I don't despise you. Also, this topic is really not about just shitting on you, because I know Kevin won't participate in that. He likes you too much. Kevin, do you
No,
agree or disagree?
Kevin and I get along pretty well. Oh no.
Uh-oh. Silence is golden. Or a bullet. Either
Well,
way. The topic of this is, are we judging games too early? Not are
yes.
they being shown too early, but are we just automatically going, no, I'm good, like, and then just shitting on a game? Has it always been this way?
I
No.
think
Also,
so.
what is a remake?
Oh, okay. That's actually a decent topic because of what I posted. Because now there's so many different variations to a remake. But okay, let's answer the first question you put out there first.
Yeah.
So, and Kevin, I don't know if you're still. He may have stepped away. I have no idea if you're listening
No,
or
I'm
not.
still
But
here.
okay, Kevin, why didn't you say you like me then?
Just keeping the
Yeah.
suspense rolling, you know.
Oh, okay. All right.
I
God,
want to point out he still hasn't answered.
okay. Um.
Anyways, let's answer that
Uh.
first question. Dustin, do you go first?
Dark
I think
Sonic,
it.
if you want to participate in this, please stand here and talk. If you want to participate,
Why would you start talking when we just said for him to go first?
I wanted to go first.
Why would you
I
say
wanted to let him know that.
you could have when I said, "Hey, Genesis, you go." You could be like, "Hey, by the way, Dark Sonic joined it." Like, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
A lot of
You
things,
ever
but
speak to
that's
a
beside the
person?
point.
You have the manner. You have the manner, not a big house, a manor with an E.
I'm in.
Listen,
I
no,
have a
please.
shack. I have a
Listen, no,
shack.
please.
um, I feel like it's definitely probably always been around, but uh all the Twitter and stuff has made it much easier for everyone to shout out their brainiac opinions on every single thing they could find, no matter if it's in like alpha stage or like a cinematic trailer or actual gameplay footage. um, Everyone's really quick to judge. and make their like final opinions on something that's not even done yet. It's very sad. 'Cause I feel like some games definitely get hurt by that, especially like the lower budget games even.
Yeah.
Aside from all the AAA games, they definitely suffer due to everybody's inherent need to speak.
It's interesting though because like we may no thank you we may like do that to games like how we're shitting on Skull and Bones because we saw how that looked, we thought it looked bad. Kevin, notoriously known for loving Battlefield, especially the most recent one, um, really not going to say anything about that. He's digging in them heels. He's going quiet.
He's playing
No,
something
like
big.
we shit on Battlefield because even before it came out, it's not that we still recognized that it would be bad, and then when it came out, I think we were all justified in it being bad. Even though I don't think any of us here have actually played it other than the beta or the alpha or whatever you guys played.
The beta was what we played. I mean, that's
Yeah.
honestly why we kind of put it that way, because
Even
it's
before
because
that, though, we were shitting on it. But I think that's okay to shit on some things because some things do look bad.
like
But
Skull and Bones.
yeah, from what I saw of Skull and Bones, it did not look like what it was said it was going to be. And Sea of Thieves has been out for years, and you can get off the ship. Like, what are you doing? What's going on here?
Skull and Bones just looks like a fake Chinese game that was made in like a
It looks like a
basement.
knockoff. Yeah, it looks weirdly like a knockoff. It's also a full price game, not a free to play thing, or like a half price. I don't know. I was very confused by that. But I think it's okay to judge things. But when a 2-minute trailer drops, and it's just cutscenes that are very different looking from the original. I think it's not okay to just go, this looks like shit. Like, why are you doing that? Like, you can react to prices and stuff. That's fine. Like, that's an opinion. But like, I don't know. I feel like jumping the gun on that is too much. I don't know if Kevin or Genesis wants to go next or.
Kevin, you want to go?
I mean, this is literally what I do all the time
Please.
with every game.
Yes.
So I'm fine with it.
Well, I'm just curious in how you.
This is not wrong. This is Kevin's segment.
I wouldn't
He sees
say.
something and he's like, "Hey, this is."
But
what
I
it
would
is.
say most of the time you do it, it's justified. I don't think you're coming out here like.
I mean, how?
You're
Tell me
shitting.
how I'm somehow more justified.
Well, I
You
would say you're more
actually-
justified because you see gameplay and like things
Correct.
like that.
You do your
Like-
research. You do different, much more research, and you dive deeper into games.
This is more about like a 30-second CGI cutscene trailer comes out and people are shitting on every aspect of the game.
Oh, if
Like
it's a cutscene,
it
trailer,
won't
you
have
can't
that.
really
It
tell
won't
anything.
have this. That's literally what the Last
like-
of Us Part 1 trailer was. All
I guess
cutscenes.
okay. So like Battlefield 2042. When did I start shitting on the game? When the developer all the time kept bringing up how, oh man, this is just gonna be bigger and better, bigger and better, bigger and better, and they were talking about like how the destruction and stuff was going to be like the same, and they weren't going to make any compromises. And they started dropping gameplay, and it's like, so what gives? Because nothing you said is in here.
Well, that's
this
an
whole
old build.
tornado just went through buildings,
Old
and the
build,
buildings are still standing. Like, I don't know. There's certain times when I just completely destroy games and tear them apart because, like, what is this? What is this? No. And especially when it's a first-person shooter, I can tell a lot from a trailer. Like, let's talk about Witchfire again. Watched the trailer, had no indication of what kind of first-person shooter it was. Looked like it was going to be something like Painkiller-esque. Even the developers themselves said, "Oh yeah, we were going for like a Painkiller sort of deal." Painkiller is a fast game, very fast, high-precision first-person shooter. What I saw in the Witchfire trailer, very slow, very methodical, very bad-looking. But then I've looked up other stuff that said, "Oh, it's hold on now. Okay, didn't get this at all from it. Borderlands trailers are much different. It's a looter shooter. those games do, generally speaking, you go slower because they're trying to appeal to more people and not a hardcore first-person shooter fan. um, so I don't know. You really gotta nail that first impression. I completely disagree that people like me hurt smaller budget games. I think we help smaller budget games more than people give us credit for.
I was
Because
gonna
like
say I agree with that one.
Vampire Survivors is like that game was $4, and I'll tell you right now, if they release anything else for that game, I hope it's a paid-for expansion because I just robbed them blind buying that game. That game is incredible, 9 out of 10 at minimum. Um, it's so good, and all it is like 8-bit sprites.
I don't necessarily agree or disagree that like people who judge like small games like that, like I don't think you're hurting them or building them. I think you build like people like you build games up, but that doesn't happen with nearly as many games that are shit on and dropped. But a lot of the games that are shit on and dropped are games that are usually shitty and need to be dropped. They're usually like scam things. It's usually a community coming together and being like, "Yo, this uses assets from this game. It steals from this. It's bad.
Right.
It's literally it's clearly a cash grab." So it's hard to sort through like when someone is being super negative on something just because they didn't like it, or if they're being super negative to be shitty about it. And like I feel like we all here recognize this, except Genesis when he becomes a different person that he said. We all recognize that, yeah, like it's easy to say shitty things about something just because you don't like it, but to find something about it that actually is shitty and point it out, that's something else entirely. I'm usually mad at a game for being shitty because I want it to be good. Like I love City Skylines because I hated SimCity so much and what it became.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just very interesting how the other side lives. In Genesis, I have no idea what your opinion
But
on this is
also,
going to be.
Obscure Tales. I think it's their name. I forget what studio made Lamentum, but I'm pretty sure it's Obscure Tales. New game coming out. Looks real good. Check out their Twitter. They got some random little quick, like 10, 18-second videos that actually show off more than Abandoned did. So check that out. Looks a lot like a 2D Silent Hilly sort of game, so very similar to Lamentum. I'm super excited. Looks like it's going to be more gunplay. Oh, boy.
Another great
Get
example that rightfully deserved to be shit on. Abandoned, by the way. Thank you for bringing that up. That's one we all looked at and was like, this is a scam. Dessa noted down the 3 gigabyte demo and was like, this is a scam. It's literally a video of a man walking. And it's not a very good animation. It's very stiff.
Meanwhile, I'm
Well,
here.
also, that was on their Twitter previously.
Yeah, everything about that was sketchy as hell. I don't know what's going on with that game. Can't wait for it to come out 10 out of 10 IGN.
10 out of 10 IGN.
Wow. All is on you, apparently. Don't feel bad. I don't hold anything against you.
Wait, what's happening?
Don't worry about it. Genesis, I want your opinion.
It's an intervention.
Opinion for what?
Huh?
I
said the wrong person's name, didn't I? Genesis.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, 100%. Yeah,
I said the wrong name.
Kevin, I gotta be honest. Your hate is blinding you. You didn't like him, so you concentrate on the good one. You know?
Wow.
We're just kidding, Genesis. We love you.
Genesis, go ahead.
Some would say, you're my love and I'm your thunder.
And the lightning.
No! Copyright. Genesis, no, please, for the love of God, after.
So, my thought process on this is, we sit through these, what? Okay. We sit through these conferences, right? We sit through these showcases, these gaming previews and all that. And we all sit here and we look at trailers and we're like, yes, no, maybe, depending on what it looks like later. Okay. You could show me a 30-second Kingdom Hearts trailer. Whatever's in that trailer could be the worst thing or the best thing in the world. It doesn't matter what it is to me. It's always going to be the best thing in the world for me. Okay? I think as far as, like, do we judge it too quickly? Yes and no. It really depends on what we're looking at. For me, AAA games, we can judge those way quicker than we can judge a smaller end game. I think the opposite of Desinota, where I think smaller end games are getting the benefit of being judged like that because they're getting a lot more attention now than they did in the past. AAA games, on the other hand, are getting more attention for bad reasons now because they're pointing out, like, hey, this doesn't look good. Hey, this is garbage. Hey, and not all of it is correct, obviously. Like, obviously, it was pointed to me about 20 minutes ago where, I just went on a rant of some stupidity and decided to spew nonsense when I wasn't thinking in my head correctly. Not every bit of it is correct and justified, but there is a good degree of it that it's like, you're pointing something out here. I mean, I'll use the franchise that I hate the most now is Assassin's Creed. I see any trailer for Assassin's Creed. It doesn't matter what that trailer looks like. I automatically hate the game. I don't care. It doesn't, nothing about that game appeals to me anymore, or even looks like it should be what it was at one point in time in my life, which was the best game that was ever made in the history of gaming. I mean, I was an Adam can tell you.
Kingdom Hearts.
I mean, that was before I fell into the whole Kingdom. Because remember, I didn't start with Kingdom Hearts 1. I started with 2, and then I kind of worked my way backwards and got all the stuff.
Oh, you're a fake fan poser.
Shut up.
I'm just kidding.
Assassin's Creed. When I played 1, that was a whole ordeal with 1. And then when 2 came out, that was, my God, that was the prime of my life in PlayStation 3 gaming. That was insane. I think for AAAs, it's justified how we judge them quickly because they do have track records that go along with them. The teaser for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth came out, and it was just CGI with little snippets of like gameplay here and there. That trailer garnered a bunch of attention on Twitter, right? And a lot of people were just losing their mind for good and for bad reasons. Most people were like, there was a good divide between half of the internet saying, "Oh, now everything has changed. This is it. This is garbage. I'm done with this. I don't want to do this anymore." Nobody even knows what the hell's going on yet. We don't even know what's going to happen. We got a 30-second CGI trailer with maybe 3 seconds of actual in-game gameplay. You have no idea what's happening. And then the other half is like, my body's ready. I want everything. Give me everything because this is what I've waited for. I want to see more Final Fantasy VII. I think towards AAA, the attitude should stay that way because it's slowly weeding out the garbage that AAA puts out, like Battlefield. I think when I first saw Battlefield, it was cool. 2042, I was like, oh, this looks cool. Then I saw more, and then I got more gameplay, and then me and Kevin and I did the beta, and I was like, no, this is not good. This is garbage. Skull and Bones, I needed to see 10 seconds of that, and I would tell you that game is dead on arrival. Okay, there's nothing that can save that game. Now, I have the opposite opinion about like Pokemon, where I hate it, but a lot of the trailers that people see are like, oh my god, this is amazing, this and that garbage. You show me the 30-second trailer that came out for the new one that's coming this fall. I don't even remember what the hell the name was. I think it's Scarlet and Violet or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I seen it and I'm like, okay, I don't care. I don't want it. I'm not interested. This is garbage. This is stupid. Still looks like it has pop-in. Still looks like it has degrading graphics. Still looks like it's still missing a lot of the stuff that makes a Pokemon game Pokemon, actually makes it a Pokemon game at the end of the day. I can get a little bit too, what's the word I'm looking for? I can get a bit too, not mad, stupid when it comes to, when I approach certain gameplay previews or CG trailers and things like that. And unfortunately, my biases do come into that quite a bit. More than they should, I think. You show me a God of War CGI trailer, I'm in it. I don't care what it is.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, the Ragnarok trailer was CGI, and everyone here has criticized, too many CGI trailers. That trailer came out, we were like, oh shit, like here we go, like, because I don't need another trailer for God of War. I'm sold. You know, Skull and Bones November 8th, God of War November 9th. That's another reason why it's dead on arrival. Why would they do that? What's going on there?
They
Anyways,
know they're stupid. They know.
but we all have a bias. I think we all recognize it some days later when it's pointed out to them. But like even Cognito has a bias, but it's against a man, so it doesn't
He does
come up
not
that
like
often.
He doesn't like the Pope, the Dorito Pope.
Yeah. So like we all have a bias. It's just like everything you said I agreed with, but the way you go about practicing it is like throw a Ubisoft logo on it, it's then on arrival for you.
Yeah. Wait, you could throw a Ubisoft logo on anything from me. You throw a Ubisoft logo on a Kingdom Hearts game, it's automatically dead on arrival for me.
Out of curiosity,
I don't
what
know
if?
about that.
Don't get mad. What happens if Kingdom Hearts is bought by Ubisoft? Square Enix and Ubisoft become a team, and now they're called Enix.
Ubinix.
A lot of those games are unfortunately
School
dead for me.
Enix.
I can't. There's things that I just can't agree with, and like
Interesting.
there are games that I look at like, okay, I saw Rainbow Six Extraction. I talked to Kevin about that, and even though I look at the game now and it's absolute trash, if that wasn't a Ubisoft branded game, I probably would have bought it and played it with Kevin. But because it's a Ubisoft branded game, it stops me from doing it. The last Ubisoft branded game I bought was The Crew 2, and that was literally so we could race from Buffalo to California. That's all I did it for.
We did do that, yeah.
And that was it. I haven't
You
started
won,
since.
if I remember.
No, you won.
Yeah, I thought you won.
No, I didn't win. You won.
Wait, did you win on the way there and I won on the way back?
You won on the way there. I won on the way back.
That's what it is.
I got lost getting there, and then
yeah, because we had the no
back.
map thing. That was fun. That was a good time.
Yeah, but I think I have very strong stupidity biases against certain things, though. That's the problem with me. And I can admit that in the podcast. I mean, it is what it is because that's who I am. That's what I am. I am extremely biased against those things. But then, okay, you look at the Square Enix games. I am getting almost every single Square Enix game that's coming out, with the exception of Valkyrie Elysium, and I'm still probably thinking about doing that one too. And not every game that they make is good. You know, Avengers, that's a huge red flag right there. I still to this day, I always tell you, I'm like, hey, if it's free on Plus, you want to go?
And then I always go, yeah, maybe. We'll try it again.
It's, for me, I could probably buy most of the Ubisoft game. I mean, not Ubisoft, Square Enix games, and then burn any Ubisoft game that I see. So, and that's an unfair bias that I have because maybe Ubisoft can actually make something good. But I'm talking absolute gibberish. I'm talking words of Satan if I say that because that's just not possible. It's not at all. My thoughts, like Last of Us Part 1 remake. I don't think I am going to get that on day one. Maybe eventually when it's like cheaper or something like that, I'll probably go back to it. I have to work up the courage to play The Last of Us Part 2 again. Okay.
I think playing 1 will help you.
Maybe, or maybe it'll make it even worse because
I think we talked about that. Like it'll be cycle.
It'll be even worse because
play Last of Us Part 2, get all sad. Play 1, be happy, and be like, well, I want to see where the story goes. So you play 2, and you get all sad. So you play 1 to be happy again.
Just a never-ending cycle. And I could even say the same thing about, you look at the consoles. Like, if I see an Xbox CG trailer of Halo, right, I will immediately trash the trailer. I'll be like, oh, there's nothing in this trailer CG. And I see a CG trailer of Horizon 3, I'm going to be yelling from here till Timbuktu. So I'm just going to keep, screaming to the heavens like, oh my god, it's Horizon.
All right. So,
yeah.
Let's get into the second part of this. What justifies a remake?
Real quick.
Oh, Kevin.
Hey.
I got a quick little thing to throw in there.
Throw that little thing in there.
I actually, this is going way back, I'm sorry, but I walked away from the conversation. This may have already been addressed. I had a heart attack because the next expansion for Spirit Island dropped, or at least information about it dropped, and that is the best board game out there. Anyway, so somewhere toward the beginning of Genesis thing, he said that it's easier to shit on the AAA games versus like indie games or something to that effect. Uh thing is, generally speaking, indie studios actually show gameplay in their trailers because they gotta hype up their product. Like they gotta
Mm-hmm.
show their product. Whereas AAA studios already have like established series,
Yeah,
and all they gotta do is drop a CG trailer, and that's
but
it.
I mean
Like look at
also.
Resident Evil 4 remake. Resident Evil 4 remake, we've seen the gameplay we've seen is him walking up to a door. Um, and that's
Uh,
it. Whereas like you got a game like Tactical Breach Wizards, and you see tons of gameplay. You see abilities being used. You get a good idea of what the gameplay is going to be like. You got Metal Slug Tactics. They showed gameplay in the first trailer. You got, Battlefield 2042. They showed like nothing in the first trailer at all. Modern Warfare 2 showed a little bit of gameplay, but like barely anything. Um, so I think that really if generally speaking, indie games are going to come out and like release all this gameplay right out of the gate because they have to get noticed. They're opening themselves up to more criticism, yes, but as long as it's actual criticism as opposed to people just being like, "This looks like shit, 0 out of 10," and just like walk away, they can actually like try to work to make something that people will buy.
mhm.
AAA studios, you go like, "This looks like shit, 0 out of 10." They're like, "All right." Like they don't care. They look the other way and walk away at the same time you walk away. Like and you can sit there and you could also write a perfect critique of everything that they put out, and they'll be like crumple, throw, and just do their thing. Um, that's basically it. I don't know.
Real quick, there's also a business aspect to that. Like you can't. It costs money and time and a team to make CGI trailer. Also, a big
Fair.
company usually needs to put something out to appease investors and show that they're working on stuff. Show that that CGI trailer can get trailer numbers, show there's interest, show there's potential buyers, get pre-orders out there. Indie devs are working with, we need this to succeed and we're trying to get it out there. Please play this. This is what we got. Look at it, be happy, criticize it. Let us know what's wrong so we can fix it. Get it out there day one so you can love it, and then hopefully the community takes it and elevates it to another level. So absolutely everything you said was correct, though.
Yeah, all right, you're right.
Thank you, thank you. But
Okay,
remakes.
second part.
What justifies a remake?
Okay,
Is it
so
time?
there's so let me explain something here first because I think
Well, hold on.
go,
Before you
go,
start, I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
Yeah.
I want to just interject real quick to be clear. Are we doing this like what justifies a remake versus a remaster, or are we
No,
saying like what just justifies a remake?
this mostly is. We're talking about just remakes. We don't care about remasters in this conversation, and this is mostly Google it and be like, "This is what a remake is." But like, what do you think justifies a remake? What justifies a full priced remake? What justifies? Like, I want to know personally for everybody
Okay.
here. Like, what's if it's time? How far back do you need to go? If it's engine, like, what do you need? If it's something else, like, is it price point? Like, just what justifies a remake?
Got it. I'm there. Okay, thank you.
Okay, Genesis.
Okay.
Oh, you're itching.
I want to mention that because I've played quite a few different remakes, remasters, all whatever it fits in a parentheses, right?
No.
A remake, though, a remake has now been categorized in so many different things. You have a remake that is a ground up remake that is made from something that was completely different years ago, right? And now it's being remade in the modern era and it looks completely different. You have another remake that is a completely different game that was the original game and changes 100 aspects of it, changes story aspects. It essentially turns into a different game
Reboot.
at that point. A reboot, yeah. Then you got a remake that was made of a game that wasn't made too long ago, doesn't have the intricacies of like combat, story, overall like engine overhaul, and a leap forward. You also have that kind of remake. there's so many
Give
different...
examples for all three, please.
So first one, you have a remake, Resident Evil remake, right? They took the original game that they had,
Two?
and they put it onto the modern consoles and completely redone, right? It was from the ground up, brand new engine, brand new gameplay.
Are you talking about 2?
2 or 3, either one,
okay.
now 4 as well. Yeah, 2, 3, 4. Even 1, actually, because 1, they took away the entire aspect of the fixed camera, and it's just, yeah, you're right behind the character at that point.
I don't remember 1 being remade.
No. Yes, it was on GameCube.
No, the PS4 remake. For 1.
There is?
What?
Yeah, there's a PS4 remake for 1. You guys didn't see that?
No?
There's the one for the GameCube, and then there's one for the PlayStation 4. Resident Evil.
Yeah, that's the same thing. That's the GameCube game.
Yeah, isn't that just an up-res remaster?
I've played it. I own it. Unless they came up with a new one.
No.
Just that one I'm thinking about has been out for like 3 years or so.
Yeah, it's just a remaster.
Okay, I'm wrong about that one. I apologize. So there's 2, 3, 4.
You're good,
Sorry.
man. I'm
2,
just
3,
making.
4.
I'm making sure that I didn't miss something because Resident Evil 1 is great.
Yeah.
The GameCube remake, my favorite remake so far. Oh my god.
Because 2 still had the corridor one. 2 wasn't behind the back. 2 was the corridor, but then they turned it into behind the back with 2.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I had me confused. Okay. That's the first type of remake I was talking about. And then you have the second type, which was, it's almost like it's more of a reboot than a remake. That's Final Fantasy VII. Like, that's one of the few games that, like, they took and completely changed while preserving the original story in the original game, changed the entire combat system, changed the actual story, changed where characters were going, and it's become its own series now, because now you have Rebirth happening in the third game. And you have other things spawning out of that too, like Crisis Core Reunion and stuff like that. And then you have the third one, like Last of Us 1 remake. So
that's why I asked you to clarify, because we don't know enough about Last of Us 1, and again, you're assuming.
Well, they said they were working on the combat, right? They said they're taking stuff, they're redoing the models from 1, which they are doing that. I'm assuming gameplay is going to get affected with that, but it's not like an engine overhaul, because I'm assuming they're still using the Last of Us 2
compared to the
engine.
PS3 and the PlayStation 4 remaster, yes, it's a remake.
No, I'm not saying it's not a remake. I'm saying, are they using the same engine from the games, is what I'm asking.
Are you saying because it's made in the same engine as Last of Us Part 2, it's not a remake of Part 1, which was not made in the original, in the Part 2 engine?
That's also a remake. That's what I'm saying. There's 3 different types of remakes. That's another remake where they're not using a different engine. They're using the similar engine that another game from this generation uses.
I'm confused.
Okay.
Am I the only one confused on what he's saying?
I'm also confused.
Why are you confused?
I'm not listening, I'm sorry.
Well, I think we should also just not assume anything about Part 2 other than what they said, which was they're trying to make the remake more like Part 2. That's all they really said. So,
okay. If they're making the remake like Part 2,
use that as an example.
Okay, but if they're making the remake like Part 2, right? I'm assuming the engine still stays, because that's the engine they're using from Part 2. They're expanding on that engine. That would be a safe assumption to make.
Sure.
Nothing that we've seen or heard is...
I'm following you so far for this.
Okay. They're redoing all of the character models, right? Same engine. New character models to fit the newer graphics, right? Because they're upscaling the game now, and they're redoing the models and the animations, right? It's not a complete overhaul like the other 2 remakes like I talked about, where they came from totally different realms of time.
Nope. Again, that's where you lose me, because you're saying they come from totally different times. What do you mean by that?
They came from a time where 1 was a corridor. 2 corridor type of fixed camera with 3D, like polygon 3, like old 3D models. The other one was a 2D. Yes,
so your version of a remake, it has to be a different genre, or it has to change the gameplay in some way?
No, I'm not discrediting this as a remake. You're misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm saying there's 3 types of remakes. They're all classified as remakes. it just depends on what type of remake it is, because a remake is no longer just, hey, here's the old game remade in today's era, and here's what was done to it. There's different types of remakes. You
I
change
feel
a
like
story
that's
to
exactly what's happening with Last of Us Part 1.
Are they okay?
They're
Yeah,
remaking it into today's.
Yeah, and that's another remake. That's what I'm saying. There's 3 different types of remakes. That's what I'm saying. You can't just categorize it into one. Last of Us is a different type of remake where they're bringing a PS3 and PS4 remaster title into the PlayStation 5 era, not using a different engine, I'm assuming, using the same Last of Us 2 engine, building on top of that engine.
Which is a different engine than the original Last of Us 1 on PS4 and PS3.
Okay, and redoing the animations and everything, not going like full ground up, like, okay, we gotta change the way, I don't know, the way the combat system works, or change how the overall UI or the HUD or anything like that. That's what I mean, because you look at the other 2 remakes, they've changed the HUD, the UI, the aspect.
I mean, we haven't seen the HUD or anything, so we don't know.
Okay.
The HUD in Last of Us 2 is different than 1.
Yes, it is.
So it could be more to that. Like, again, this is why I think using Last of Us Part 1 is a bad example, because we literally don't know enough about it, and you're assuming so many things.
Okay, so let me use this one. So they did remake Call of Duty, the Call of Duty games that are being remade right now, Modern Warfare 1 and Modern Warfare 2, right? You have those. I don't think they're changing much of the story. The story is essentially still the same. Kevin, if I'm wrong, correct me, but the stories are.
Kevin, no. Kevin's not a Call of Duty remake expert. I feel like he's made that very clear.
No, but
remake? Which remake? What?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare.
Oh, I have no idea. I never played the campaign.
Yes.
It's okay. So I played the campaign.
There's 2 different ones. There's the remake of Modern Warfare.
Yeah.
At least the multiplayer aspect, and then there's just the new Modern Warfare.
That's the remake. That's essentially the remake of Call of Duty, because there's a remaster.
I thought they said they were changing
remake.
the characters and some of the story elements.
Everybody's back in the same exact aspect that they had.
Yeah, but I thought even in the
there.
game thing that they just showed for the second one would change some things or whatever. Like the story is going to go in different places or whatever. I don't. Am I wrong on hearing that? Anybody remember?
I don't
Anybody
remember
care enough
that.
to look it up? Because I don't. Anyways, keep going.
I guess maybe I'll leave the third one out of it then, because
yeah, that's probably a good idea.
There's other ones that I can think of, but they can easily be classified as like remasters and stuff, like the Mafias, the.
Which one?
Like the definitive editions that have come out, Mafia 2 and 3.
3? Yeah,
actually
3
1 as well.
3, no. 3 is more of a patch, and then 2 is. I mean, they say it's on a different engine, but it looks mostly the same, a little bit up-res. 1 is a complete ground-up remake, and the story's different.
So 1's the only remake.
1's the full remake. If you look at Mafia 1, like, back when it came out, it looks nothing like what this is. And it's not just graphics, how it plays, everything's different.
Okay. Yes, Dark Sonic, what do you want? All right, well, you go ahead. We will see you next podcast.
All right, have a good night. Thanks for joining.
All right, don't worry about it. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
I guess I'll leave the third one out. But the third one is basically just, it's not a complete overhaul. It is more of like, and you can't classify it as a remaster because they're improving animations, they're improving graphics, they're improving combat systems, but it's not like they're changing combat systems or anything like that. I'm trying to think of a good example of that third one, but I guess I'll leave that one out. The first 2, though, I think you can understand my point with the first 2. Either there are remakes that happen where it's the same game and they remake it and it's a different
it's modernized. It plays better, it looks better, it's all that. Yeah. And the second one is, it's just, hey, we're rebooting it basically. We're modernizing it even more, making it whatever, giving it combat you're familiar with. Like Knights of the Old Republic is what that is supposed to be. Like it's supposed to be more the second one than the first, but we don't know that for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think there is a third one.
Ooh, does the Spyro and Crash trilogy land in that?
Now, I would say that's the first one. It's literally
First one.
remaking the graphics. Some of the movements are better. There's different
Uh-huh.
music. Like a lot of things are remade. A lot of the voice acting's the same. They used a lot of the same voice actors. Some re-recorded lines. Some lines that were already in there they put back in. Like
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
so. Like yeah, I really think there's only two categories.
Okay, so 2 categories. That's my 2 cents on remakes. So for 2 categories, then leave the third one out for now.
Forever.
Sure.
All right. But
But yeah,
what justifies a remake?
gotta be. It's gotta be time
Mm-hmm.
and what exactly changed. Like, if it's the same, okay, if you have a turn-based game from the 90s, right, and it's still a turn-based game in 2022 with updated graphics and cutscenes and this and that, that doesn't count as a remake. That's a remaster.
Interesting. I disagree. Well, depending on what you mean by upgraded graphics and
Yeah,
all
because
that.
if it's upscaled, that's a remaster. If it's completely redone graphics and it's still the same system, I guess you could call it a remake
So
because
it's like Demon Souls
it's
remake, and they use the same code and try to get it the same, like to play the same. But they did say that we took code from the original game, we put it in here, but we also modernized it, but we also had to change some things, but we made it feel like the original one as close as possible. According to what you just said, that's not a remake. That's a remaster.
mm,
Anybody else want to go and justify what a
yeah.
remake is?
Give me a, because now I'm thinking. Give
I'm
me an
curious what
example.
everybody else thinks.
All right. So, what justifies a remake? Companies. Companies justify remakes.
Thank you, Kevin.
Putting them out in the first place.
There you go.
You do your job. You show me. Why do you feel like this game needs to be remade in the first place? Convince me that I want to play that game you're remaking. Good, there you go. You did your job. Congratulations.
Mm-hmm. All right.
That's literally how I feel on this. Like,
That's a good. That to me, that's a good reason. Hey,
like
make it,
instead of
justify it.
because like to Genesis credit, there is a lot of different like kinds of reiterations of games, but like some of them, it's like what is this? What is this? You didn't even try. Whereas others that do very similar things, you're like, oh my god, yes, perfect, because you just loved the game so much in the first place, and that's what part of like the remake design process has to be about, in my opinion. Like, if you're remaking a game, you're banking on the fact that people still want to play that game at all. Um, like Diablo 2 Resurrected, it took friggin' forever, but finally they remade Diablo 2, and what did they do? Friggin' nothing. Yeah, they didn't have to, and that was the best thing they could have done. um, all they did really was update the graphics. They somehow, through friggin' I don't know what kind of programming, made it seamlessly switched between like 30 FPS and 60 FPS and like terrible graphics and modern-ish graphics. I don't know.
Absolutely.
They built like everything on top of the existing architecture and still
Mm-hmm.
made it better, and that blows my mind. I don't know how they pulled that off, but it's all right. It works. The only thing that didn't work were the servers at first because they didn't anticipate as many players as they were going to have, and that was their fault. Like they definitely should have saw more people playing that. It's still the most
Also,
popular
let's be
Diablo game.
honest. They didn't anticipate it
Um,
for months after release as well. Like
no, yeah,
they're
that
bad
was
job.
easily bad handling for that. But the game itself, no, that was perfect. That was the way you remake Diablo 2. Um, Diablo Immortal is not how you remake Diablo 3.5. Um,
Fair.
because and Diablo 4, aka Diablo 3.75, we'll see how that goes. You know, um,
Diablo 3.75.
I mean, I refuse to call it Diablo 4. They haven't done like anything past Diablo 3 with that game. They've literally ripped entire items from Diablo 3 and injected them into Diablo 4. So, but anyway, my actual before I just go into different rants, my actual response for like justify a remake is I don't want to justify the remake. I want companies to justify them remaking the game in the first place. Show me I want to buy this. Prove it to me.
Yeah, I like that answer too.
Mm-hmm.
Destinoto, you got an answer?
Ooh, real quick, I'm going to actually bring up a thing. Because recently, ActRaiser Renaissance came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I love ActRaiser. I bought that game right away as soon as I learned that it was on PlayStation as well, because I thought it was only going to be on Nintendo. I didn't know I wanted to play that again. And I had no idea they were going to actually add aspects to the game. Were they the best aspects to add? That's up for debate, depending on who you ask. But, like, no idea they were going to remake a game like that. Then I played it, enjoyed it, and started thinking about all the other games they could remake. And now I'm just going to travel down a path of sadness because they'll never see the light of day. But yeah, like, I don't know. Sometimes there's remakes that just come out of nowhere, and you're like, oh my god, yes, thank you, good job. Anyway, sorry, Justin, you can go now. I'm interrupting everybody today.
Still kind of thinking.
While he's thinking, there's another category. I don't know what you classify these as.
Here we go.
But
let's see.
The Japanese developers do this. So, like, you take I'll give you an example here: Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royale. It's not DLC.
It's a golden edition. It's an expansion pass. It's a bonus content. It's Royale. It's not a remake.
It changed the combat system in the game, tweaked a bunch of things.
Yeah, they're updating the game with more content, and it's the season pass of stuff, which is, hey, it's great. Honestly, if you love those games, it's great. It's nice, wonderful, and they, as far as I'm aware, they don't charge an exorbitant amount. Do they offer a free upgrade path?
No.
Do they offer any sort of discount upgrade path?
Not that I know of yet.
So they add a few hours to a game and then they sell it for full price?
Yes.
Okay. See, I'm okay with that, though. Because, I mean, I don't play those, but as far as I'm aware, I know a lot of people will be like, hey, if you're going to play Persona 4, play Persona 4 Golden. That's the one. They added all this. It makes the game like 20 hours longer and you're having a good time and it's worth the extra price. Like, that's fine. Like, I have no issues with that. As long as it's talked about, but they're not calling it a remake. It's not a Persona 4 remake. It's Persona 4 Golden. It's the gold tier version of that game. It's not Persona 5. It's Persona 5 Royal or Royale, whatever the hell it is. Like, it's like when you buy the Batman games. Hey, you can buy this one, or you can wait a year and you get all the extra DLC content, the Game of the Year edition,
like the gold edition of Game of the Year.
Yeah, that's fine. Like, hey, you can wait, and sometimes those will come out at full price. Sometimes they'll be down by 10, and by Black Friday it'll be half off. Like, as long as you wait, like, that's fine. But yeah, I don't think that's a version of remake, if I'm honest.
Okay, that's why I figured I'd ask.
It's a good thing to bring up, though. I like what you're trying to think of stuff. Justin, you got anything?
Yes, but can you repeat the original
How do you justify a remake? Personally, it's really thought-based opinion. You go by corporations, whatever you want, man. It's open-ended. A lot of people will say time.
I said time.
A lot of people do. Hey, a lot of people do. I don't know why.
Personally, justifying a remake would just be like any game that I played once that I was like
you want to play this again, but in modern times.
Even like I was just so darn impressed with, or it like brought me into a specific genre of games, and it's like the gold, not the gold standard, but like maybe what sparked my interest in like that specific genre, like Demon Souls from PS3, right?
Mm-hmm.
That game got me into every other Souls game, every other Souls-like game that's come out today. And that was one game that I was like, well, it's really old now. And this was when the PS5 was first coming out. The game's really old. There was never a remaster of it anywhere. It was never a port of the game anywhere. This would be incredible for it to come out on the PS5, all redone and everything. And then they did it, and I was screaming. And yeah, I think something like that, where the game like really just leaves a mark on you. That's where it. I personally justify it to be remade
Leaves an
again.
impression on you.
Yeah,
Gotta leave some sort of impression on you from the original.
right.
It's a good reason. I think that's a valid reason, honestly. If the game don't leave an
And
impression, you're not gonna justify a remake for it.
right. And if it's not from a personal perspective, like a corporate perspective, it's justified when a certain company makes a incredibly successful, maybe a sequel like Last of Us Part 2, and they completely overhaul the game in every single aspect. Um, Overhaul in the sense that they make everything pretty much just better, like gameplay, music, um, animations, all that stuff. And then they see, oh, this this did so well. Um, Last of Us, again, another game stuck on the PS3. It got remastered for PS4, but it's still only there with the same type of graphics, same type of gameplay. That's completely different from Part 2. Um, like, oh yeah, we can, we know this will definitely sell. Like, no question about it. Of course, there's going to be people who point it out and be like, oh, this isn't worth the money, but they've established such a good fan base for this franchise that they know it'll do really well. Another example is like Capcom reviving Resident Evil in the way that they did for RE7, and the clever use of the name, making it like Resident Evil as like a reboot kind of the franchise. And with that, with all the interest that that game sparked, they're like, well, we
Or we
use this
stop there.
name.
Just
Yeah,
keep
we
making
use
for all
this
the other ones.
name. Why don't we take that really old one from the PS1 and do what we did with 7, where 7 wasn't a remake of 1, but it was a reboot to the entire franchise to act as the first game. And
That's a decent. I've never heard that said that way. That's a weird, decent point that I just heard. Oh my god, I never heard that
and
said that way before to me.
so then that would justify them doing 2, 3, and now 4 is coming out
I assume they do
in
5 and 6 as
due
well.
time.
Kind of make full circle there.
Maybe they would definitely have to change 5 and 6 to fit more of what they've been doing with 2, 3, and 4, starting from 7, because they're totally different Resident Evil games.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe not 5 so much from 4, but 6 is like an action game for first and foremost before it's a Resident Evil game. So we'll see what they do from there.
After they remake 4, if they go on to make remake 5 and 6, when do they start remaking 7 and then 8?
I don't think they would.
Ever?
I think they
Maybe
would just
later?
continue with whatever story they had going.
They'll
Because
just go 9, 10, 11, 12?
Yeah.
I would assume so. I think after 6 they'd stop, and it would just go 9, 10, 11, 12.
So what they're gonna do, alright?
Oh, God.
This is gonna be Resident Evil 4 remake. Then there's gonna be Resident Evil 9, which Resident Nixon. I don't know. I'm trying to come up with a word that has
Wow,
R's in it.
Kevin, a big hint next time. Come up with a joke before you speak. That usually helps. What a crash and burn we just witnessed. Wow. Are you done or you want to keep
Anyways,
going?
so Resident Evil 9 will come out, right? Then
Uh-huh.
they gotta reboot Code Veronica X to actually make it Resident Evil 10 somehow, and then they'll skip right to 11, but then that'll have 2 1s in it, so they'll remake 1 into 2 separate games that go in different paths, and then they can remake everything twice over again. And it'll turn into the next Blizzard.
No, please.
Welcome to
Capcom's
2048.
so good.
It's the remake of Resident Evil 4 Remake Remastered. What?
Oh God,
You all
no.
have very different answers for what it justifies a remake.
So, I think I'm going to ask the question that's going to end the topic.
Really? My topic? You're gonna end it? Great. Take control. You do you, man. The one man here who hasn't even answered his own question, but yeah, go ahead, end it.
I answered the question. What do you mean? I answered my question.
The one man here is me. I'm the one man. His own question. My question was the.
You know what?
Are you listening?
You know what justifies the remake for you? As long as they remake Infamous for you. That's what justifies the remake for you. That's
No,
what
don't bring up Infamous. You can't wiggle your way out of this one.
Don't just randomly bring up Infamous.
You just bring it up whenever, even though now it's a festering wound right now, and you keep bringing it up. Now, what is your question to end the top? What is your question that you thought was going to end the topic, but it's not?
How far do we go into remakes before remakes become remakes?
Was that a joke like Kevin was doing, or had another crash and burn, or did you just have a stroke?
No. So you said, do they remake? Okay, we remake 5 and 6. Are they gonna remake 7 and 8 at that point? We're like, no, we're gonna just continue with 9, 10, 11,
eventually
whatever.
it might.
So then would you remake the remake of 2 and 3 and 4 on PlayStation?
Probably.
8?
I don't know. Let's talk to the king of remakes, Hideo Kojima, with Metal Gear Solid. Let's talk about that.
55 years
from now, we're gonna remake those games.
Too many. 55 years from now, they're gonna be like, well, you can't really play Resident Evil 4 remake on anything. It came out like years ago, and Destinota's still playing it. We don't know why, but whatever. But like, he's got an archaic PS5. We're already on the PS30. Like, after we got to 10, we just started jumping. Don't worry about the future. It's weird. But like, eventually they will remake a remake, and I guarantee you it's already happened. I guarantee you a game from the 80s was remade and then remade again. Oh yeah, it's Tetris. When that game is remade all the time. You could call it a remaster because most of the time it's graphics, but then they add a little something. Is that a sequel then? Like, it's a whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
So,
okay.
That was you really thought that was going to end this? Interesting. All right. When are we going to remake Genesis? Let's get rid of some stuff, add some other stuff.
It's gonna remake me. Can you add hair on my head, please?
No, sorry, we're all out. My answer to this question is, you can't. I think justification's a bad word for this. I'm getting a little meta here. Kevin, your mic's doing that thing. I don't think justification's the right word because like personally, sure, we could all say, yeah, it was justified, but like, hey, you say time. Kevin's just said his favorite remake was the Resident Evil that came to GameCube, right?
Yeah. For the Resident Evil series,
1996,
anyway.
2002, 6 years. Evil. It's a bad remake. Like, I want to remake Infamous. You're right. I want to remake Infamous 1 and 2 along with Festival of Blood. Of course I do. Came out in 2009 and 2011. Some would say that's long enough. 13 years and 11 or whatever. Yeah, like, sure, that's long enough. But for me, if you kept pumping out a new Infamous 1 version every 2 years, I'm in. Because I love Infamous. If they remade Kingdom Hearts 3 with an Unreal Engine 5, Genesis, you're buying it. Unreal Engine 6 launches, the game that's coming with it, Kingdom Hearts 3. Unreal Engine 7 launches, games that coming with it, Kingdom Hearts 3. You're playing it. Like, the justification changes for every game. Like, I don't care what anybody thinks a remake is. I cared what you guys think because we're friends. But at the same time, I disagree with some of the things you guys call remakes. Like, is any of the games you're playing remakes? Are they all just really remasters? What's really a remake? I have no idea. I don't play games. I don't know how easy it is to rebuild assets. Like, I don't even understand how Demon Souls can use the same code but run on a system 2 years later that, or 2 generations later, that runs on completely different architecture because the PS3 was built to hate developers. Like, it makes literally no sense to me. And when people go, hey, we had The Last of Us 1 come out in 2013, and then it was remastered for the PS4. Now they're redoing the character models and charging full price. Well, I'm not going to play that. Okay, shut up and play the remastered version you love so much. Then what are you talking about? Half these people haven't played that game in years.
Why'd you sound like Trump a lot when you were speaking like just now? You sounded like Trump 110%.
First of all, because that's my I pretend I'm smart voice. Like, people who are just so high up their orange ass. Like, unrelated. We don't get political here.
That's why it's the cherry assistant.
Now you understand. I think it's all stupid. Like, I think Genesis, we'll have this conversation again, especially about The Last of Us Part 1. In a couple of weeks, you'll see something on the internet, you'll see a funny meme, you'll send it through, and I'll be like, what is this shit again? Why are we doing this? Then we'll have the same conversation, and then I'll be like, wait till stuff comes out. And then as soon as 30 seconds of gameplay drops, and you go, doesn't look any different to me, it's over. It's literally over. Like, nothing would change. Hey, you just said, I'm not buying it. You didn't say, I'm not buying it unless I see radical changes. You said, I'm not buying it. That's a price thing, which you said, too. Price. What justifies the price? What needs to happen for a price change? It has to be in a completely new engine. An engine that other games have ran on. Sure, that's allowed. Not necessarily that the original game, right? That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's what's happening with The Last of Us Part 1 so far.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead.
Changing gameplay and story. So, like...
So story has to change to justify it for you. To pay full price.
Yeah, I would say so. Because I'm getting a different experience.
Story definitely has to change for Genesis. Which is strange because it's not something you mentioned when you said, how do you justify a remake? You didn't say story has to change. Most remake story doesn't change.
I said most of the time.
Now you're justifying a price. But...
Yeah, I'm justifying more of the price. Like, what would get me to buy a remake? Okay, so, like, if I wanted to justify buying Last of Us Remake Part 1, if they changed the ending or they changed aspects of the story that I know Joel's going to be alive going forward or something like that, let's say, for example.
What? In Last of Us Part 1, he is alive going forward.
No. I mean, like, I make different choices at the end. Like, okay, do I now get to choose if I get to actually make the choice for Ellie, or do I choose, I make sure Abby's killed way before I find her as a child and I strangle her and throw her in a fucking pond and then take her all the way.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, this abuse.
This is the toxic shit I block on Twitter all the time.
Listen, I wanted Abby dead. Even at the end of the game, I told you what I wanted to do to her at the end of the game, and you were like, okay, well, that's
Yeah, it
what
was
you wanted
very
to do.
sexual. I didn't understand it. I was like, all right, you don't. Hey, I already hear enough about you with Pokimane and Amaranth. Like, I don't need to hear this. Like, yeah, you just keep going on. You're like, them flapping flappers, they got me. And I'm like, great, man, great. When you told me you tapped that share button so many times when the anal scene came out, I was like, hey, man, you do you. You do you. Yeah, with Abby, remember she getting fucked from behind? Probably not
That was the
anal,
anal
but
scene?
I don't know.
I don't think
The
that's
face she was making, it looked like it went in raw on her ass. All right, I'm not. Kevin, you haven't played part 2, but if you saw it, you would know.
It's weird how you
But
remember the scene so
also,
vividly.
honestly, if any Last of Us 2 haters here, they probably think it is an anal scene because everyone thought she was the transgender character, and that's why everybody hated her.
Yeah,
So
no,
let's
that's
just
not the
keep
reason why I
that in
hated her.
mind.
I
No,
just
I know
hated her
you. Yeah,
because,
you didn't hate her
yeah,
because she was.
no, I could never forgive her. Is why
Yeah,
I
because
hate
she
her.
beat a man's golf club. No spoilers.
Yeah, yeah. So if Last of Us had that, also introduced like a new system into Last of Us. I don't know if I had to be specific, like a system, maybe like a different gameplay mechanic or a different system mechanic in Last of Us. Like you add, oh God, what would I add
You
in
add
Last of Us?
numbers
I
because you're an
find I'm
actuary
just
by
gonna cut
day.
you off because it doesn't matter what they add. I'm just gonna say I find that wild because not once do I think about playing The Last of Us 1 and going, I hope they add something completely different to this.
Doesn't have to be necessarily different. I just want more
What do you
out of
want?
it.
You want a crop simulator? What do you want?
No,
Oh,
I want more out of it. I want more for the remake price that I'm paying. When I buy Resident Evil 2 remake or Final Fantasy 7 remake, I'm getting more than what I originally had played in those games. Last of Us 1, let's see how it comes out, but based on everything we know so far, that $70 price point for me, it's not a day one. Unless I see something in a trailer
perfect sentence.
where I'm like, oh
That
my
was a
God,
perfect sentence that you just said. Based
Can
on
you repeat the
everything
sentence?
we know so far, for me, the $70 price point, you can't justify. That's a perfect sentence because that's an opinion, and absolutely, you can have that.
You can have that.
You can have that. That's yours.
Okay.
Congrats. I'm the same way. I don't know yet if the $70 price point is there for me. Based on what the characters look like, I'm kind of already in because I love The Last of Us Part 1. Also, no multiplayer, so no multiplayer trophy, easy plat. Haha. Hopefully they don't add grounded to that. We'll see. Maybe I'll play it. I don't know. But like, if it's updated and if it's what we Desunoto and I mostly hope for it to be, Last of Us Part 2, but Joel, then I'm in. I'm sold.
Last of Us Part Joel.
Yeah, like I'll pay $70 to play an updated version of Last of Us. Have you played Last of Us recently? Boot up your PS3. Boot up the PS4 remaster. That controls like a stiff foot. Like, but it's like if you
Yeah.
Coming
went
soon, Angerfoot. Better thing.
100%. Thank you, Kevin. If you Genesis, let's say you had a crippling diabetic condition, but you were bad
Oh
with
my
it.
god!
But you were bad with it. Hold on. Here's a hypothetical. And let's say you're one of those people who just you get gangrenous feet and you do nothing about it. One day you look down and your shins are just bones. That's how you play The Last of Us 1. That game is so stiff and the gun controls suck. Naughty Dog has not been the best with guns. We can all admit that.
Yeah.
We can all admit. We liked Uncharted 2
No,
back in the
Uncharted
day.
2 was great.
We liked Uncharted 2 back in the day. Kevin, pick up Uncharted 2 and play it now. But if you go based on time, it has not aged well. I don't know if you know this. There's a reason why in Uncharted 4 they put an automatic aim thing, and it's not just for people who have disabilities. It's for people who are like, "Hey, Naughty Dog, your gun controls suck. Play a Call of Duty, learn how to aim a gun." Like, it is wild how opinions differ on the internet about gunplay. I never had issues with it, but if I went back to play Uncharted 2, I tell you right now, I'd be like, what the fuck is this? Because I went back to play Last of Us 1 after Last of Us Part 1 was announced. I booted up my PS3. It was not happy running The Last of Us. I can tell you that right now. I got 20 minutes in. After 15 minutes of loading screens, I got to one combat area. And I was like, nah, I'm good. Because I just remembered playing Last of Us Part 2 and being like, look how smooth this is.
Yeah.
This is a smoothie that if you had that crippling diabetic condition, you couldn't have the smoothie. But like,
Okay,
I'm just saying.
So let me interject here real quick,
Yeah,
because you're telling me it's Last of Us Part 1. I'm sorry, Last of Us Part 2, but with Joel. You're saying Last of Us 1 remake is what you and Destinoto are saying it's looking like it's going to be.
That's what we're hoping for mostly.
Yeah.
Okay. If you could confirm to me, like, okay, I'm going to be a situation now, what would justify the $70? If you could confirm to me that I could keep him alive in the second, that it changes the course of the second games, then no, I'm not saying
what
it's
you
gonna.
need is
I'm
a
saying
reboot of Last of Us Part 2 that will happen in 28 years. Or as their projections go, 6.5.
Yeah, that's what will get me to buy Last of Us Part 1 remake. If I know going forward in the remake of Part 2, he's alive, and I just get to kill that bitch, then
Wild.
yes.
Absolutely wild.
That's
because
exactly
the only
what
bitch
I would buy
I
it
see
for.
is you. I'm just kidding. I wanted to make that joke when you said bitch earlier. I'm sorry. It was a family show then because the child left. Also, don't bring that child in. That was annoying. Kevin and I were texting. Kevin was mostly nice. I was like, get this little fucker out of here. All right? Kevin said no, and then you brought him in. Well, what happened there? Then you invited him to the party? Kick him out of this fucking thing. Why? Don't give him free access to this. We're adult men. You don't know Kevin and I. We could be pedophiles. You don't know. Honestly, most assaults happen within a mile of the home. So Desunoto and you are also on that list. So let's be perfectly clear. Don't do that.
Adam,
Why would you bring a child to this who was like, I mean, I like your little brother and stuff, but also like, what is this? He spawned a bunch of blue things that kept catching on fire. That was annoying as fuck. I held that in for as long as possible. I mean, he's a nice kid. I hope he's not watching this, but like, I didn't mind having him here, honestly, but like, train him better. It's better not be like with your daughter. You're like 2 years from now, you're gonna bring her in and be like, okay, say words. Like, no. This is a podcast. What was that? What were you thinking? Let's go back to this. What were you thinking about that?
What is happening?
This is the shit on Genesis episode. I
every
realize
episode.
that now.
Why did you do that? Why did you bring him in here after Kevin said no?
Okay. First of all,
everyone else said yes.
Kevin and
I didn't say anything.
Kevin and Adam are not pedophiles. Right. Let me just disclaim that now to the viewers. Adam and Kevin are not pedophiles. Kevin is in a relationship. Adam is also in a relationship. Neither of them are pedophiles. Okay?
What? Hold on.
Second of all.
Hold on. Wait a second. I feel like we need to clarify. Who am I in a relationship with?
I brought him in just as a one-time thing. He won't be coming back.
I don't think I can move on from this. Am I being assaulted in my sleep?
Yes, by the metal bar. We all know this, Adam. We tried to tell you. But...
What is that? What is it? I'm not in a relationship. I'm trying to free myself up for the sexy women. Adult women. Let me clarify. Genesis is right about that first part.
Yes, please. We don't condone any sort of pedophilia on the podcast.
Hell no. Okay? Hell no. Kids are ugly. And gross. All of them. Honestly, as I get older, anybody under like 28 is kind of getting annoying. You know what I mean? Whatever. We'll talk about that after in our personal time.
Yeah, let's.
Destinoto and I are here for the hot anime big titty milfs.
Nope.
Oh, he hesitated. Might be into them little lies. That music girl. She was just taken off of YouTube because of some copyright stuff. Did you guys see that? Oh, that's lo-fi. Never mind.
Oh, lo-fi.
Yeah, it's not lo-fi. It's different.
Second of all, it's a one-time thing. He won't be coming back, so he'll be fine with that. It was a
That's
one-time
shame.
thing. Let
That's
him
kind of
in.
mean of you, but yeah, it's your decision.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure this topic has been beat to death. Adam, do you want to finish this off here? You want?
I feel like we all finished.
Okay, good.
Don't take that out of context, please. Thank God we're not big. If somebody would clip that, somebody would clip all of this, we'd go to jail. I'm pretty sure you'd be in jail, Kevin.
I would be in jail
no,
first.
Kevin be in jail.
I'd be there way earlier than you guys would.
Because Kevin was texting me, I want to kill this little fucker. I was like, Kevin, you need to calm down. And he was like, oh my God, the Browns are multiplying. I was like, Kevin, your racism is showing. Kevin's used to being in a sea of white by laser guns, you know what I mean? Only white people do that stuff, you know what I mean? Kevin gets it.
I mean, I played laser tag. And,
oh yeah, you did? Once?
Max throwing? No,
Walk outside.
Times, actually.
You need a cop holding a laser gun. What happens to you, huh? You're an Evaldi nothing.
Oh my God.
And on that note,
let's get back on track. Are we doing rumors?
I don't know anymore. I don't know if I can.
Can't see.
Hey guys, we have moved up in podcasting. We have a disabled person on our cast, so we can qualify for stuff. Kevin can't see.
What in the hell is happening?
Anybody got anything else, or are we calling it here, or what's going on?
Oh my God! What just happened? Did we learn anything?
Kevin, let me ask you something.
I feel like I need a recap of like the moral of the story is.
Genesis and I have done this for now 101 episodes. Genesis, what have we learned in 101 episodes?
That you still hate each other.
No. I just said he was my love and I was his thunder. And if I'm honest, it's probably the other way around.
Oh, God. We're going to jail, guys, for a very long time.
Yeah, it's okay.
It's okay. We'll all meet in jail and we'll just gangbang together.
Good?
Yeah, no, we'll
gangbang. You think we could start a podcast called The Gangbang?
The Gangbangers.
Hey guys, welcome to The Gangbang. Don't mind Dustin Noto. He's chewing? Oh, he's not chewing. Never mind.
No.
Kevin's mic is doing that? Oh no, Kevin's mic is not doing that thing. That's actually a noise coming from
Kevin
Kevin.
is doing that.
That's not Genesis' child screaming. That's just Genesis screaming.
Oh, that metal rod Adam used to talk about? No, that metal rod isn't real now. It's here.
Honestly, Adam's not affected at all. We don't know what the hell happened to him.
For some reason,
he's been in a relationship. It's still going on. We don't understand.
He's got 3 relationships going on. None of them know about each other for some reason. He's very good at hiding all that stuff. Probably on the account he could just make up lies as he goes on.
Adam in prison really opened up as a slut, I guess. You know? Who knew I was so loose?
Right.
We've now renamed Adam. Adam's new name is Slut. Genesis' new name is Bitch. Kevin's new name is Whore, and Decimo's new name is
Slut Bitch.
Oh God. Okay. Well.
Well, this has been the gangbang. Whore.
Oh.
This has been the gangbang. Join us next week from San Quentin.
From my toilet.
From my toilet. We communicate through straws through the toilets. If you know prison stuff, that's a good reference. And hopefully we'll get better mics. We'll have to trade some cigs for it, but it'll work out. If you want to support the show, send some money to the commissary. And and remember to write us notes so we can start a pen pal relationship. That's all we got here. Also, send a cake with keys, any kind of key. Let's just test them all. I'm curious.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't think we can. I don't think we can go any further in this now.
Yeah, this has
So,
been something. This has been something. Join us next week. Or don't. Who
You got
fucking
rumors?
cares? Nobody's watching. No, he's not doing them. He's not doing rumors.
What?
Have you not listened? Have you been distracted by the gangbanging?
What are you talking about, huh? You're not doing rumors?
Why
Huh?
are you walking around like that
Huh?
little child?
Huh?
What the hell are you doing? You better fix that. What the fuck? Now that is just unnecessary. Alright, well, this has been Crafting a Chat, episode 101. Episode 100 was probably a bit better, so if you haven't seen that, go watch that. Yeah.
we'll see you guys next week, same time, same place. Thank you all for joining Crafting a Chat. Twitch.tv/craftingachat, youtube.com/startingtoolate. And if we're not in jail, we'll see you guys next week. If we're in jail, we'll see you on the Gangbang podcast. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
I don't know what happened.
You want to know what happened? Mother